One of the reasons as to why I left my religious institutions is because I felt that religion was based, or my religious institution was based on fear. Like the only reason this thing thrived was because there was fear. Fear of God, fear of the devil, fear of burning in hell. It felt like actions, or people acted good, or people pretended to be good because they had fear. They gave because they had fear of what was going to happen to them after they die. Now this was one of the reasons as to why I left my religious institution. I'm raised Christian, born and bred Christians. My parents are Christian, my grandparents were Christians, and personally for me, I had to leave this institution because of that theme of fear. I could not comprehend the reason as to why I had to fear my creator. Why did I have to fear my God? If this person created me and loved me, why did I have to fear this person then? The other thing was that burning in hell honestly did not make sense to me, because why do I need to burn in hell? If you created me and you knew what I was gonna do for all the days of my life, then why are you going to punish me and send me to hell to burn because of sins that I committed, that you knew that I was already going to commit, and then I burn in hell for eternity? Second and foremost, like, why don't you just reconcile with this person and just end all of this misery, you know? So for me, it just felt like it was fraudster. Like, it was based on fear. Like, oh, if you don't tithe, you will go to hell. If you don't love your neighbor, you will go to hell. If you don't do this, you will go to hell. So hell was always like a threat. You will not go to heaven. Or I felt like it was a threat. God will punish you. So like, why cannot live in something that thrives on fear? The second reason why I left my religion was because when you read the Bible, this God that we read about sounds like a God of war. And we read he's even like a God of Israel. So it leaves me with so many questions. What if he is the God of Israel? What about all the other tribes that existed at that moment? Who were their gods? And why was he only the God of Israel and not the God of all the other tribes that existed at that time, or all the other nations that existed at that time? Why did he pick a favorite? And this God was a God of war who seems to like war and injustice. Like, this person is vengeful, and I was wondering, why would I want to worship such a God? Why would I want to be associated with such a creator who has only chosen one nation and one tribe to rule over, and just disregards all of these other nations that exist? A God of vengeance, a God of war, a God who is not patient, because that is what you get when you read the Bible. Actually, if you actually study your Bible and don't let the pastors interpret it for you, that is the things that you will get. And if you read it consciously, asking questions, you will find these themes common everywhere. And for me, I felt like I don't want this. Does not feel like a supreme God. This does not feel like an all-loving, all-knowing creator. This feels like somebody weak, somebody who is jealous, who gets jealous over their own creation. Like, make it make sense, honestly. So for me, that was just like, nah, this is something that just doesn't make sense here. And we only get the version of this small Israelite group. What about the versions of the Egyptians, the version of all of these other nations that existed, that this Israelite God kept on fighting, all these other nations? What about their stories? Why don't we get to read about their stories? What had they done? Imagine a God that wipes out an entire civilization because they don't follow his instructions. A God that, and this is a loving God, like, mind you, your creator. Does that really sound like somebody who comes from a place of love? Honestly, that reason as to why I left my religion was because this God that I read about in the Bible seemed to have a thing for women, and like, he hated women, and I'm a woman, and I'm like, why would I continue worshiping somebody who hates me? Clearly this person hates me. This person lets bad things happen to women. The funny thing is that I find that in these religious institutions, women are the higher in number, women are more in number, and I can't help but wonder, don't these women read the Bible? Don't these women see that this God who they worship does not even like them in the first place? That was my third reason as to why I left my religious institution. Now, the fourth reason I left my religious institution is because I could not help but wonder who wrote and who composed all of these books of the Bible, and what was the agenda, because I know at the end of the day, People always have an agenda, and I have to ask myself, what was the agenda of the person who wrote and composed this book? And because I know that this person collected these books from ancient writings and then compiled them into one book. Council of the Nicaea is among the councils that like selected which books to go into the Bible. I had the question of like, why did you choose some of these books and not the other books? You know, like what made these books your favorite and not the other books? So it felt like it was a form of control, a form of like, I don't want you to know this, I want you to just know this. And so for me it was just like, no. And then these people even alter the Bible. So then how do I know this is the truth? Like if you can alter something, some texts written in the ancient times, and you alter them to your own favor right now, how am I supposed to believe that this is actually written by people inspired by God? You have to ask yourself why this is the most common book all over the world. Like, who made this book that common, and why? What was the purpose of making this book that common? And the more I read into it, the more I investigated, I found that religion is used as a form of control, a tool or a weapon to control the masses, because masses, like most of the people are ignorant, most of the people are living in fear, most of the people don't ask the right questions. We just like exist, you know. We have given up our power, if I may say so. Most human beings have given up their power to authorities, people like them. And these people don't know anything. You have to understand that these people are just as clueless as we are, but we sort of give them power to explain to us things that they themselves don't understand, you know. Because remember, there was a time that the Bible was not allowed for the common man, it was only allowed for the priests. And you have to wonder, when it was allowed for the common man, what was changed in it? Because these people have always used the Bible and religion as a tool of control, a form of slavery, to keep your mind enslaved, so that you never ask questions, to give you these mundane explanations of God, the devil, angels, demons. Like, honestly, guys, if you're a rational being, you have to ask yourself, why don't we see God? You know, like, why does God have to be hidden? Why does God have to be mysterious? Why is this person mysterious? It does not make sense. This is your creator. This person should be able to come and interact with you once in a while. It's like saying we call him our father, right? Then why is our father absent? Like, why doesn't he come here on earth once in a while and be just like, hey guys, I've missed you guys, what have you guys been up to? Oh, this is the latest technology. Oh my god, you guys are advancing so fast. Oh, this is my creation, I love you, my creation. When there is war, this God is supposed to be like, oh no, my people, why are you fighting? You know, that is what I expect from like an all-loving God, like an all-loving creator. Otherwise, then our father, or like this God we call God, is like a deadbeat dad, because honestly he just like abandoned us here on earth and just went his way. And even worse is that he had a favorite, the Israelites. Come on. So for me, like, why does this person have to be hidden? Why does this person have to be mysterious? If you, unless you're not the all supreme, all creator, unless there's something that you're hiding, unless your intentions are not pure, that I feel that is the only reason that this God, or this character called God, would need to remain mysterious. Again comes the concept of demons and angels and the devil, and we blame people that don't exist. When bad things happen, we say it's the devil, and even the Bible clearly states God is in charge of what happens, the good and the bad. So why I even dismiss the idea of angels and demons, kabisa, is because try and call unto them. I feel like they should not be hard to access, and they should not choose special people. If we are all of the same value and caliber, if this person created us all equal, I feel like everybody should be able to call unto any angel or any demon or any god, and that person, that angel or demon or that god, should be able to manifest itself present before you. That's the only way we could actually know that these things exist. But otherwise, I have never seen any of these things personally. For me, I've only seen them in movies, and I know movies affect the way many people think. I feel like all of these things are just like concepts that have been created in our heads by these movies, because we have actually, personally for me, I have actually never seen these things. So for me, they literally don't exist, because I have never seen them. Because why do they need to be hidden? Come out here and let me see you. Yeah, like, why do you need to create a hell to punish your creation just because it does not worship you, just because it does not follow your rules? Remember, you created free will. So when you give these creatures free will, you give them the will to choose good or bad. You're not supposed to punish them for their own choices. You give them free will. If you did not want them to make bad decisions, you should have just removed all type of evil from the universe and just made sure only good exists, you know. And heaven, honestly, especially my African people, like Africans, we have been so brainwashed by this idea of heaven that you find people have just don't put any effort into this world or this life that we have right now. They're only waiting for like life after death, heaven. They will sing and praise with the Lord, and I'm like, do you think that is so interesting? Do you want to just sing and praise for another creature there for the rest of your eternity? Just make it make sense, honestly. Like, those who will be good, those who worship, those who obeyed this God, they will all go to heaven, and then these other ones who are bad and evil will go to hell. Honestly, for me, I just feel like that just concept just doesn't make sense. This is an all-loving, all-powerful, all-supreme creator who knew everything that was going to happen on this earth, who knew the sins that you were going to commit, who knew the actions you were going to do, whether they are good or bad. They even went ahead and gave you free will. When you read Genesis, you find that this God even created the tree of knowledge and evil. So he knew evil existed, you know, because if you did not want these people to have knowledge, if you did not want these people to know the difference between evil and good, you should have not created these things, you know. And yeah, for me personally, I feel like those were some of the reasons that strongly pushed me to go against religion, to go and read more about this thing called religion, because I realized that most of us are just, we love to be spoon fed. We don't look for information outside of what we are taught. And our school system has even made this even easier, because our school systems teach us just to take information, memorize and take information, memorize and take information. Like, they don't challenge us to think, they don't challenge us to ask questions, you know. And so when it comes to religion, after you've left the school system and this is what you have been taught, literally most of the people around me, or like most people, just never question anything outside of what they have been taught. They just continue with what they have been taught. They pass it down to their children. They never ask questions. Like, it's like, what? Sometimes I just wonder if, like, what? You have to ask questions, you people. You have to ask questions. You have to know, and you have to be bothered to know, like, why these things exist, the reasons as to why they exist, the agendas that exist behind them. Because I feel like most people are so trusting of these religious institutions, and I feel like religious institutions are just frauds. Most of them are just fake. Like, it just, honestly, I feel like if more people question their religion, I feel like we would be able to advance as a human civilization, as a human society. We would be able to advance to the levels that we want to. And when I say advancements, I don't mean technologically. I mean advancements such as spiritual advancements, like we don't know the origin of most human beings. We don't know the origin or the purpose of our creation, and most of us have just like gobbled up what the Bible told them, or what Charles Darwin told them. Like, we have to ask our own questions and come up with our own theories, and like make sense of what these things. And that's why I always say that I think religion holds humanity back, because we never fully question when we rely on another superpower, when all our questions are answered by God knows, or the devil knows, or it's God's plan, or like, I feel like this is just some silly excuses, some lazy excuses for humans to just be lazy, because we need to ask. And I also feel like if, as a collective, we all ask the same questions, there is no way we would lack the answers, honestly. But because most of us just want to be uh, mentally enslaved, and want to be mentally lazy, that is why humanity is stuck in this where we are right now. Because honestly, I don't know why I feel like this is not the fullest potential of human advancement. Even technologically, we're still advancing, but we have to ask ourselves, why don't we ever advance spiritually? Honestly, because we keep on giving or attributing something to this supreme power, this bigger thing called God and the devil that we don't understand. We need to understand these characters, because I'm telling you guys, some things just don't make sense. You tell me in the comment section, why do you think God is hidden? Why do you think God has to be mysterious? Um, why do you think the devil and the angels and all these characters that used to appear in the ancient times, why don't they appear today in these modern times? Like, what changed between back then and now? Like, I hope like this video will kind of be a pointer to some of you to like start questioning some of these beliefs that you have held on to for so long. Otherwise, other than that, have a good day, guys. Bye bye.